So Nadia, a few of my questions asked by some of my viewers are, one of them is like, there are these forms, you know, Dubai is going digital, so Form A, Form B, Form F. Could you help understand what these forms are?
Yeah, of course. So now, as you will say, everything is digital. So all the agents, all the brokers, we have to do the forms online. So we can do it through the REST app in the mobile, or you can do it in the Trakisi portal.
Okay.
So we have our credentials to access to that, and then when we do a sell, there is the Form A, which is seller and broker.
So it's like an agreement between the seller and the agent that
Yes.
I'm going to exclusively help you sell the property. That's Form A.
Yeah, it can be exclusive or it can be non-exclusive.
Okay.
But yeah, so I will register that. If I have the seller, I will register the contract.
Okay.
The Form A.
Right.
Then the buyer, and normally we don't do the buyer form. I do personally when I have a qualified buyer. I ask them to do the Form B from the beginning, even before we start looking for property, because this expedites the sale. So the Form B is buyer and broker.
Okay, so now an agreement between the agent and the buyer. That is Form B.
Yeah. And then once we have these two in place, we create the Form F, which is the unified contract, or the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding.
Right, which is the contract between the seller that we are now selling or buying this property. So it's a buyer-seller agreement, seller-purchase agreement kind of thing.
Yeah, so if you don't do them at the beginning, I find it very, it's time-consuming to do it. Let's say we found you the property, and then is when we must have the Form F to apply for the mortgage.
True.
Then you have to create the Form A, Form B, Form...
So it's a more tedious process of doing all of them together. So as soon as we can, step by step, I guess you should have the Form A and the B done. Right?
Exactly. And also for us, the brokers, when we have the Form A ready, the seller and broker, then I'm entitled to list this property in the portal. So it's I'm already one step ahead.
Right. So again, to cut it short, Form A is between the agent and the seller, then Form B is between the agent and the buyer, and the Form F is basically now the sale and purchase agreement for a particular property, saying now this is the memorandum of understanding, this is the buyer, buyer's agent, this is the seller, seller's agent, and this is the property that's being sold. Right?
Exactly. And all the formats are standard. However, there is clauses that we can always add, and in the Form F we do and must add a lot of clauses, especially that protects both parties.
Absolutely, I agree on that.
And the agent.
Yes, of course. We will cover the clauses in a different video, but yes, keep watching us, and if you have any more questions, feel free to send them across.